When Mafia III was announced, it was the perfect storm. Open world crime games set in the 60s, following on from previous games which in my opinion have always been good. Add in a PS4 and you've got yourself a recipe for a great, if not awesome game. However, the reality is this recipe is something that you might find in Captain Diego's chicken and meat fast food shop. It might be tasty when hungover, but it sure doesn't look pretty. Mafia III is set in the fictitious city of New Bordeaux, which, to all intents and purposes, is New Orleans set in the late 60s. Lincoln Clay is your protagonist, a Vietnam veteran who joins the black mob, but soon gets on a mission of vengeance, as you'd expect, vengeance. Despite it all sounding rather cliche, this is Mafia III's strongest element. I can safely say that this is one of the most well-written stories I have played this generation, using excellent narrative to tackle the controversial subjects of racism and prejudice found in the late 60s. Considering in recent times the lengths games go to avoid controversy, Mafia III does a great job of tackling the awful racism of the time. From the way the police act, the comments from the white populace of New Bordeaux, all the way to segregation and certain places Lincoln Clay just isn't allowed to go. Thankfully, the characters and script are all fleshed out properly, helping to deliver this uncomfortable topic with clarity, without even sounding fake. The idea of the game, though, is far more simple than the politics of the story. You have to build up your criminal empire in order to take down the main mafia boss of New Bordeaux. To do this, you have to take over certain rackets throughout the city and employ the bosses of said racket to work under you. To do this, you simply work your way down a list of high-profile gangsters you've been given by your CIA operative. Take out the businesses, then the lieutenants, and then finally the racket boss. This may involve shootouts or blowing stuff up or stealing money, destroying property, you know, the usual stuff. And that's pretty much all you do again and again and again and again. It's repetitive. This wouldn't be too bad if it was clever in some way or had variation, but regurgitating the same mission structures over and over again in the same area of New Bordeaux is unforgivable. Don't expect to travel across the city for the next part of the mission. Hell no, it's literally just down the road. So much so you can walk there. The idea of the missions is to take out one district at a time, but it seems this method is too confined. Considering the brilliance of New Bordeaux, this is longing to be explored. New Bordeaux is brilliantly realised with an authentic 60s vibe thanks to the fantastic radio stations on offer, the cars, the fashions, the dim street lights, the Cold War paraphernalia, and of course the design of shop fronts and posters. It's just a shame that graphically it looks shit. At times it's sublime, others it looks like something you'll find on your Wii. Poor textures, awful lighting, dodgy animations, and some weird shit that happens to the water and the sky when it rains. It's just nasty. Things are compounded with on-foot sections too. Travelling around New Bordeaux on foot is actually quite effortless. The cover system of shooting, although competent, is too clumsy and feels inaccurate. Although admittedly, with the auto aim on max, it is enjoyable. What isn't enjoyable, however, is the AI. It is simply terrible. The worst I've seen in a game in a long time. Which ruins all the sneak and stealth work the game actually does quite well. You know you have a problem when you can take down a guy and the guy next to this guy doesn't even flinch. What's that about? Also, all the gangsters look identical at times, and on occasions I had 3 of the same character model gunning me down. Still, Mafia III has some really neat touches, things that all other open world games need to implement. First up is navigation. Once you set your waypoint, the game generates what looks like road signs, so you can just follow those instead of keeping your eyes glued to the corner of the screen on your minimap. This allows you to soak up New Bordeaux atmosphere, but at the same time you notice more of the graphical shortcomings. Secondly, there is vehicle combat. While driving, a tap of L1 locks onto part of the vehicle you're chasing. R1 cycles through different areas like tyres, fuel tank, driver, etc., which you can then shoot and disable the vehicle or kill the driver. This is one of the best driving / shooting mechanics I've seen in an open world game to date. So, the game is repetitive, uninspiring, buggy, glitchy, and looks like the best B game you've ever played. But I just can't stop playing it. Why? Because of the story. It's so well written. You want to see how this war veteran manages to take out one of the most powerful gangsters in America. You want to see what happens to Lincoln Clay after all the adversity he's faced. Just when you think you're getting bored of the missions you've done over and over again, Lincoln Clay and his supporting cast pull you right back in. Despite the repetition and ugliness, it is actually a fun game to play. It's a simple game, it's a more structured open world game and not the sandbox affair like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Just Cause. It harks back to a time when games were simple, no complex levelling up or loot management, it's just shoot, 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 and despite all the flaws, it's just simply a game that's enjoyable to play. And that's the whole point, right?